And they are both true, but Harvard, it's just a computer science 101. So I've done it was online during the pandemic, and I was like, why not? This is great. I can say I studied at Harvard. That's really cool. Thank you, everyone, for coming today, and thank you for the warm introduction. As Helen said, my name's Kyle from Social Geeks Digital Agency. I've been in digital marketing for a long time, over a decade now. I've been helping with websites and Facebook ads, Google ads, and marketing strategy. Something that I've noticed recently is that AI has just gone crazy. And not only are we seeing this in Google and Facebook, where a lot of their campaigns now use AI to get in front of the right people at the right time with the right message, which is crazy because I remember back when I first started, everything was manual. Everything you had to go in and check, the bidding, the messaging, everything you had to check and test out. So the fact that they're using AI is, I think, a good thing. But now with ChatGPT, we had David's wonderful speech today. My introduction was written by AI, and I'm hearing from more and more people that they're using this, not only in their day-to-day lives, but in their businesses, and using it for things like writing emails or for coming up with social media captions, figuring out hashtag strategies, anything that you kind of would have a VA do. And Janine, I'm sure you're probably jumping into AI as well and starting to look at this as well. It's like you're able to use this to get things done faster. Now, I think a lot of people are really scared about AI, and to be honest, I'm one of them. I think that my industry is going to be very hard pressed in the next couple of years to see where things are going. And I think it's just going to basically remove a lot of the tasks that we all hate doing, but we have to do in our businesses. It really does mean that we can automate things that maybe we not struggle with, but might get a bit of creator's block. So I don't know if you guys, show of hands, who's using AI in their business so far? Okay, excellent. And are you guys using ChatGPT? Yep, so hands up for ChatGPT. Great. So what a lot of people don't know is that AI is now becoming omnipresent. It's like a digital, I'm going to say digital god. That's probably a wrong thing to say, but it's becoming this kind of all-present, all-powerful genie in a bottle type of thing. Does anybody use Canva in their business? All right, great. Did you know that it has AI built in now? Yeah? Yeah, probably, yeah. Okay, we talked about this, yeah. All the platforms that we use day to day, Google, Facebook, Canva, ChatGPT, Bing, they're all now starting to adopt and integrate AI into their practice. So what I wanted to talk about today was, now that I've been using AI for the last at least 6 months in my business, I want to talk about how I think that you can drive the most value and save the most time for yours. So the first thing I think that AI is really powerful for is essentially coming up with strategy. So if you are a business owner who struggles with social media or just marketing in general, it is a difficult practice. It's something that you have to constantly be on top of. One thing that you can do is with ChatGPT, tell it to act as a digital marketer. Tell it to act as a certain professional that can help you in creating a strategy for your business. If you explain to it, going back and forth, who you are, what you do, and if you have a paid version of ChatGPT, you can actually give it your website and say, look at my website, here's my LinkedIn, here's who I am, do the research, figure out who my competitors are, figure out what my business is and what services I provide, and then I want you to come up with a marketing strategy for me. And what it will do is it will come up with an objective. It will say, here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to come up with a full marketing plan. Here are your customer personas, people that you're probably going to work with. Here are your competitors. It can spit out 3 to 5 different competitors. And then it will tell you, here are ways that you should reach your audience. I did this recently for a client, putting together a proposal and walked them through how they can do it themselves. And it was crazy. Like, what it came out with was pretty spot on. I'd say it was like 80 to 90% of the way there, and saved me like days of work just putting that together to be able to go, yeah, here is a pretty good marketing strategy for your business. So strategy is one of those things that AI can really help you with. It can actually understand your business pretty well because it can scan your website and your socials. It can figure out who your competitors are. And then it can say, here are the ways that you should speak to your customers. You need a really good website, you need to be on these channels, and here are some kind of campaigns that you can run as well. So I think that's a really powerful way that you can use AI. The second way would be probably looking at coming up with content for your business. Everybody knows that Google loves content, like blog articles on your website. And we probably all, I don't know about you guys, but I hate writing content sometimes. It feels like you're just repeating the same things over and over again in different ways when you're writing blogs. So what you can do with ChatGPT is you can prompt it by saying, come up with 30 different ways to talk about this service. Give me 30 different ideas for blog articles that I could talk about for my business. And it will give you a list of different options, different articles that it will spit out. For example, I was putting together a course recently on how to use ChatGPT and how you could use that in your business. And I was running through kind of the exercise to go, all right, let's figure out who is the customer persona. So again, ChatGPT is great for this. Who is the customer persona for somebody who's wanting to learn more about AI and how to use it in their business? And it spits out demographics, psychographics, shopping behavior, all of that, which is really powerful stuff. And then I was like, great, what types of questions are they asking on Google? Can you give me a list of frequently asked questions? And it spat out 30 different ways that people would be asking on Google for how can I use AI in my business? How can I create content using AI? And it spat out all these different questions. I was like, great, okay, now list me out 30 different ideas for blog articles, things that would speak to this person who's looking for ways to use AI in the business. And then it spits out 30 different ideas for blog articles. And I was like, this is fantastic. All right, now can you please write this article? And it was like the ultimate guide to using ChatGPT in your business. And it spits out 1,500 words, perfectly optimized for SEO, and created an article that I could use. I was able to take that and then publish that on my website and create content in a fraction of the time that it would take to either write it myself, get one of my team members to do it, or if you're hiring a copywriter, to get them to do it. So this is a really powerful way to get in front of your customers, because right now Google doesn't really have a good way of figuring out what content is actually AI generated. So it's a gray area right now where if you have a website and you want to get more visibility, more traction, more traffic from Google organically, you need content. You're feeding Google. Think of it like Pac-Man, and it's eating things and getting bigger and bigger. You got to feed it content. You got to feed it new articles and new content on your website for it to go, this website's relevant, it's talking about this topic, so I'm going to start presenting this website to these types of searches. That's a simplified way of explaining SEO, I know, but you do need to be looking at publishing content on a regular basis. I think a great strategy for small business owners right now is to look at what are my services and products, what are people searching to find me online, and use ChatGPT to create those articles. Start with the ultimate guide to roofing, the ultimate guide to how do I go about replacing my roof? Because people don't know half the time what we do. They are looking for answers to questions that they're not looking for, I want to find a roofer, they're looking for what is the best roofing materials to replace a 30-year-old tile roof. They're asking questions, and I think that's the type of content that AI can be really powerful for. And it will just help us getting ranked higher on Google a lot faster. So that's the first way. I think that small businesses can really take advantage of this, and you can do it in a fraction of the time that you would if you were trying to do this yourself, because SEO is hard. You're trying to figure out who's my customer persona, what type of questions are they asking, and then what type of content should I write to speak to them. If you can get a really smart computer system to do it for you, and it can take a second to pump out a really well-written article that you can then edit to make it a bit more pretty and add some photos, and then publish it on your website, that saves a lot of time, guys. That's huge in terms of time saving. The second thing I would say is that you can use this also to create social media content and emails. If you guys have set up email marketing for your own businesses, you know that you can automate a lot of things these days. New customers, you have a customer welcome series where you're sending them information about your service and you're asking them questions to send through information or giving them FAQs that they might need to know. You can create these email templates with OpenAI, with ChatGPT, and get those all kind of going a little bit better in your business. I definitely think that any content that you need to write, try it out with AI, because ChatGPT is made to be a really easy to use tool. It's a chatbot type of interface. You can ask it questions, you can get it to create content, and then if you don't like that content, you can get it to edit that content as well. You can go back and say, actually, I prefer if you wrote this in a bit more of a friendly tone. It sounds a little bit robotic, and it can come back and make that a bit more human, which I think is pretty crazy. So those are a few ways, guys, that I think that you could use AI in your business. It's only kind of just starting, and there's so many tools out there already, but ChatGPT is probably the one that I would say you can get started on today. It's free of charge, and it's just going to help you save so much time in that content creation for your business. emails, blog articles, social media are 3 great places to start. And I definitely think that strategy is another one that you can really dive into if you are stuck. So I think that's pretty much it from me. I thought I'd open up to see if anybody had any questions. I know I've covered a lot of different things. Yes, Helen?
I have a question. I heard that ChatGPT's data has been pulled from several years ago. So has that shifted and is it up to date so that it's current, or is it only still, say, from whatever the date is?
That's a great question. Yeah, actually, I'm glad you brought that up because ChatGPT is a large language model. It's based on data only up to 2021. So it's not the best if you're trying to ask for factual information from the last couple of years. They do have a ChatGPT 3.5, which is their free version. So if you go to OpenAI, you can create a free account and you can start using it without any charge. But if you want to upgrade, they have ChatGPT version 4, and that's a paid version. I think it's $20 a month. And you can use a plugin to search the internet. So you can actually say, look this up, because I want relevant, now and topical information, and it can find that information for you. So it does have access to the internet, but only for the paid version. Other than that, it's using trillions of data points, but all from 2021 or older, unfortunately. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Yeah.
Is Google getting to the point where it can understand what's being read by ChatGPT, and is it being nasty to people who it can see using AI to create stuff?
That's a good question, but I honestly wouldn't say that Google is doing anything malicious because I don't see how that would benefit them. I know that they've launched Google Bard, so they have their own version of AI, and I think that they're probably going to be, if not as big as ChatGPT, probably better because they have so much more data. They have so much more experience behind AI as well. They've been doing AI for much longer than OpenAI. I don't think Google is going to look at your browser history and go, Victoria's using ChatGPT, I'm gonna punish her for it. I hope not.
Or be able to read the article itself, that whether they can determine.
Oh, sorry, I get you now. Yeah.
AI.
Look, I've been following this really closely because obviously everybody wants to know that, right? So Google are saying that they're not really able to detect whether it's written by AI. What they look for is this good, relevant content for your audience. So they're more looking at the content itself. And if you are going from 0 articles on your website to suddenly 650 articles on your website in a week, like they're probably going to look at that and go, you're breaking the terms of service here, you're a spammy site, and you might get punished. But I think if you start using it to actually provide value to your audience, and you're creating articles that your customers would actually read or your prospects would actually read, like financial tips for end of financial year. If you use ChatGPT to write an article on that, I don't think Google's going to punish you. I think they're probably going to go, yeah, this is actually helpful and people are finding this useful. Yeah, it's a real gray area right now, and Google itself has come out and said, we're not really punishing anyone for using AI content. It's more if you're spamming the hell out of people and you're using keyword stacking and all the kind of bad things that you shouldn't be doing. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
The reason I ask, and this might be relevant to other people in the room, is we've just put on a marketing lady who's doing full-time marketing for us. So I've done a marketing calendar of basically 3 blogs a week where I will do a video, which she'll then transcribe, and she's been putting the transcription into ChatGPT.
Amazing.
And getting a blog out of it. So it's got the video and it's got the blog, but they're not word for word, which is good because Otter doesn't like Aussie slang particularly well. And I'm a little bit rocker sometimes. So we've gone from spasmodic blogging to now 3 days a week. But
nice.
I think it's got the content that's around it, but it's a good way of using technology to get something. If you're happy to put yourself on camera or even voice record and talk about a subject, get that information and then get it rewritten into something more legible than what you're saying, it's a quick way of doing so.
I love that, and I think that's like the perfect way for content creation is start with the long form, and if you can do video, that's great, because you can cut that up into so many different pieces. Blog articles.
For 3-4 minutes,
Yeah. There's some great AI tools as well, just to wrap up. There's Descript, which is for video editing, and that uses AI. It's basically transcribes your video, and it can cut out all the filler words and space in your thing, so it just speeds up the video editing process. And then there's another one called Opus, I think Opus, that you upload a long form video and it cuts it up into short form like TikTok videos, transcribes it, and it even rates it on virality. It'll say, this has a 90 out of 100 score for virality. And you're like, these tools are insane, man. It's so cool. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. Any other questions? Or
just one point, getting back to your comment, does Google penalise AI? Google's not interested who created the piece. What they're interested in is the piece relevant. So they will penalise you for duplicate content. So you've got to make sure that everything that you're putting out is slightly different. And I guess going forward, as AI gets adopted by more and more people, that duplicate content element, not the fact that it was created by AI, but if you've got similar articles to other people, then Google says, I can't differentiate between those two, so I'm going to put both of them to the bottom of the list. So it's more about the duplicate content than what created it. That's the thing to focus on.
Very true.
But if you go into Google and get the guidelines from Google, Google gives you a roadmap of all the things that it likes and all the things that it doesn't like. So just keep on that left-hand column and you're sweet.
Yeah. For SEO, Google talks a lot about the EAT. I don't know what they call it exactly, sorry, but it's expertise, authority, and trust. So generally they actually look a lot at your backlinks. So who's linking to your website? And they use that to measure how authoritative and trustworthy your website is. So it's not just about the content, that's just one element of it, but it's also about who's linking back to your website. Government websites are the best. They generally have the highest trustworthy domain rankings and authority scores. So if you can get links from government sites or even council websites, that's actually really good for your SEO. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, guys, for listening today. Just before I wrap up, I have put together an AI course on how to do this where I walk through how to create blog articles and some of the great AI tools as well. There's a great tool called AI Prompt, which is a Chrome extension for ChatGPT. It's also free, and it's like a library of prompts. Just like with David's speech today, it's really important what you put in, because that's going to dictate what you get out. And if you don't have good prompts, it can sometimes be like, I said 40 seconds, why is this so long? So it's hard, but these prompts, it's a big library of buyer personas, marketing strategies, SEO strategies, content planners, and a whole bunch more. Yeah, I'll definitely share that, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Awesome. Thanks so much. Cheers.